For this presentation, I have my Repurpose project hat on. So I'm going to talk to you guys today about expanding reuse in Gainesville, Florida. So I'm the director of zero waste at the Repurpose project, and Gainesville is in Alachua County, Florida, which is in north central Florida. So the Repurpose project is a creative reuse center. We're a nonprofit organization, and we opened in 2012. And basically, we take in donations from the community and we resell those items back to the community. We have a mission of diverting resources from the landfill and making those products available for education or creative reuse. And the co-founders of the Repurpose project are Sarah Goff and Mike Myers. So Mike is retired. He's still on the board with us, and Sarah Goff is the executive director, and she really is the driving force at Repurpose project. So the Repurpose project moved to the current location in 2014. So this is about a 13,000 square foot building that we currently have. And we have just as much outside space full of stuff as that's in the inside store. And I will show you some pictures of the Repurpose project. So each aisle could really be its own store in a strip mall, as far as we have aisles for office supplies and party supplies, electronics. Here's our tool and hardware section. We have a lot of fabric and sewing supplies and sewing machines. This is the front of our store, and this is where the creative reuse supplies are. We have a lot of odds and ends of plastic and metal and cork and just anything you can think of in these bins for little things that can be used for creative reuse. And our outside really is building materials. We do some deconstruction, and we definitely get donated building materials from the community. So we have a lot of doors and sinks and toilets and glass and metal and lighting fixtures and the basic stuff that are the building supplies. So Repurpose project is 10 years old, and we have about 30 staff members right now, including I'm one of those. So we have some of them are part-time, most of them are full-time. We have an Etsy store and a Craigslist sales. We have a community event room. So pre-COVID, we used that for repair demonstrations. We would have power tool demonstrations. We would do sewing events, stuff like that. But the community event room has not been open the past couple of years. We do have a green clean out service. I started the zero waste department in 2019, and we're active in city and county zero waste planning. And that's a lot of what I do for my job as well. But we found throughout the last few years that we are just at capacity. A lot of people want to donate the big stuff like kitchen cabinets and appliances and furniture, and we just don't have room for that at the Repurpose project. We would take some of it every once in a while when we had some space, and it would just sell immediately. So we saw that there was a need in the community to have an outlet for the big bulky stuff. I mean, there's also a need to buy the big used bulky stuff. So we thought about expanding reuse in Gainesville. We've been working on it really since 2019 or a little bit earlier. So pre-COVID, we were trying to work with Alachua County staff and commissioners to try to form a partnership, and they could possibly pay the rent for a second location. And we definitely didn't want to move. We wanted to keep Repurpose project where it is, but we wanted a second location to capture the big bulky stuff. Those talks kind of fizzled out during COVID. So later on during COVID, about a year or so ago, we started looking again, and we looked into renting locations, and the rent was very expensive for very small places. So we decided to buy a property because we found that the mortgage to buy a property was going to be the same as renting a very small property. So we did find a building to buy about a year ago. This was a printing press facility, so it really wasn't open to the public, but they had a really large room where they had their printing machines that we thought would be good for a showroom, that we could have the big bulky stuff in there. So we decided to buy this building, and it was pretty crazy, the thought, but we found this building to buy. And we had 2 months to raise $200,000. So this was March of last year. And the total building cost was $850,000. And we had talked to the bank about a loan for $600,000. We had some repurpose project money, but we still were $200,000 short. So in March of 2021, there were 5 of us on staff, and we decided to create a fundraiser. So we needed to raise $200,000 in 2 months. And so we met weekly to figure out what we could do to achieve this goal. So we got a lot of donations from community members. We got local business to sponsor us. We had special Earth Day events in April, a GoFundMe account, Facebook fundraisers. We participated in the Amazing Give, and we tweeted to celebrities who care about climate change to see if any of them would pay attention. So we had this bank loan, the donations, and some repurpose project money. So this is just a little bit of our GoFundMe, what it looked like, that the community saw, and we shared it. We reached out to all of our friends and family, our community members. This was one of our flyers that we used in March and April to help get the point across that we could really do a lot if we were able to buy this building. And we really wanted to expand reuse in Gainesville. So on May 26th, we did buy the building. We were able to buy the building. So we did that on May 26th last year, and it's a 20,000 square foot building. So it turned out that we didn't get the loan from the bank. They backed out in the early May because they didn't think that we would be good to lend to. But during May of last year, we secured 6 private loans from community members that added up to 600,000. We did raise almost that 200,000 from the community, which was just amazing. We were overwhelmed by the outpouring of support. And again, we had a little bit of repurpose project money. So we were able to buy the building last May. So we've spent 4 months after the purchase cleaning it, painting it, planning, and doing inspections. And we opened on October 9th, 2021. So this second location is called Reuse Planet. And you can see a picture of the opening. And so the front door is not what we use for customers. We use the side entrance. So we painted that the turquoise color and kind of had to redesign a little bit because, again, this wasn't a store that was open to the public. So we had to redesign it a little bit. But I think that that turquoise door does stand out. So Reuse Planet is now open. This is on Repurpose Project's website. And here's some pictures of the outside again. So again, the front door is just what employees can use. There's a couple offices in there. We have a temporary sign up for Reuse Planet. And then that's a close-up of the door that customers can use. And here's a few pictures of the inside. So this is what we wanted. We wanted a store for the used big bulky items that didn't fit in at Repurpose Projects. So we have the furniture and bookcases and desks and lighting and chairs and pictures and dining room sets. And it's just this big, large open room that we have set up. We get these items as donated items, just like at Repurpose Project where people drop them off, but we also do pickups. And again, I mentioned the green clean out service. So we get a lot of items through that. This room is off to the side of that larger room. And here we have the used appliances and the kitchen cabinets. And we have this room that's off to the side. We call it the PopUp Store. And when we opened in October, the PopUp Store was filled with Halloween decorations for sale. When Halloween was over, we filled it with Christmas stuff. So we think we're going to use it as a seasonal store. We used it the Friday before last as a clothing swap and repurposed art show because that was Zero Waste Week. So we think we'll use the pop-up store for seasonal or odd events. And the community really likes that. And they really like the clothing swaps when we do that. And that is it. So thank you, guys.